Keith, it's 2 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
I need another cup of coffee. And so there's only one way to solve that, in my opinion.
What's that?
We've got to go in that alien's butthole.
Yeah, we do.
Mr. Parris, set a course for home.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Keith and Mike Watch Star Trek Voyager. Today we're talking about Season 1, Episode 5, The Cloud. Lots to talk about. Mike, how you doing, buddy?
Doing great. I actually feel a lot better today. I was really under the weather yesterday. I'm kind of going back and forth. It's waffling. But we had a great watch along. I did it myself and then aired it for the patrons over on Discord and on the new K&M server, which is working.
Ooh.
And they were wonderful, and they had a great chat, and I have thoughts about this episode.
I imagine you do.
And I'm excited to talk about them with you, because I have really no idea what you think, and I bet you don't know what I think, which is sort of the whole game.
I mean, that's the mystery. The mystery of the show is Mike and I do not talk about the episodes until the lights are on. So,
but this week is special, Keith, because well, this week is special, but last week is even more special. So I'm excited about the Patron comments, because this was the first week I felt like this is the show. I mean, it's weird because I'm wearing the Deep Space Nine hat, but the couple of weeks before, I felt the newness was weird and awkward and whatnot, and for some reason last week something shifted, and now this is the show. We're doing Voyager, I'm in, and yeah, I'm all about it. Also, so many people joining us. We've dwarfing the numbers of viewers that we ever had on Deep Space Nine, which is crazy to me.
To be fair, we have put almost $4 into advertising, which is $4 more than we have ever spent on this channel, ever.
That's not true. I believe we budgeted $20 for the premiere of Deep Space Nine way back in the day. Yeah.
Oh, no, we did not.
I believe we did. I looked back.
Did we really?
Yeah, and not only we, Keith. You.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, God, what am I doing? What a terrible financial decision. We'll never make that back.
I know. So anyway, thanks to everybody who's joined and is watching, and we appreciate it. And yeah, that's all I have to say.
Yeah, super fun. Yeah, I mean, this Voyager experience has been a blast so far. I'm excited to sort of, get into it further and further, the further we go in the series.
This week is a banner week, because already, and I forgot the joy of this, another of the bumper audio tags made sense to me.
That's right. So I'm so happy that came early, because now you know why we're going in the nebula looking for caffeinated Flirpolis. Why is Flirpola why is Flirp caffeinated? Why is she in a nebula? Now we know.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
and coffee easy to drink with no teeth, it turns out.
That's true, absolutely. And for a creature that sleeps for about 21 hours a day, probably could use some coffee.
Keith, would you lower your gain a little bit?
Oh, yeah. I turned it up a little bit. How's that? Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. I was recording something for something different yesterday. I had to turn the gain up a little bit, so I forgot to turn it back down.
I just don't want to have to do any level. You know what I mean? You know.
No, there's no leveling. There's no editing. There is editing. We're doing it live.
There's editing. There's not as much as there used to be, but there is editing.
Well, anyway, you know what we don't have to edit? And that is, of course, our patron comments from last week, talking about the episode Phage. So, if you would like to have me read your comment, you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/K&M. Real easy, real cheap. You can also join the Discord server. You can watch all of the live watch-alongs. The Discord, super fun. I'm posting a lot of pictures, bonus pictures of Flirp and Charlie. We're getting all the pet pictures, as well as a whole bunch of beautiful discussions, talks about toys and everything. So there's lots more conversation to be had on our Discord server. Link below in the comments.
Keith, you think... I don't know if I could build there's got to be a script I could do that would pull each week when we go to the Patron comments the previous week's poster to bring up a little bit here, just to kind of show here, just to know what episode we're talking about from last week. That would be cool.
Oh, that's very easy to do. We don't even have to do it in Discord. I can just put a file in there, says last week's poster.
I know, but then we'd have to change the freaking poster every week. We'd have to rename it.
I'd change it every week anyway. But anyway,
And
more on that later.
Yeah, as we build the show.
Yeah, because that necessitates me remembering to post the poster onto Discord, which I did this week. I'm not sure I'm going to remember to do that ever again.
I mean, to be fair, and I shouldn't even say this out loud, for those just joining us, do we have production meetings online? We do it all of the time.
We sure do.
Since I'm the last person oh, no, I'm not. I was going to say I'm the last person to touch the poster to upload it to YouTube, but you do that.
Well, I upload the slate to YouTube.
Oh, the poster's different, right?
The poster's different.
All right, well, TBD.
TBD. But this is fascinating, folks. I mean, if you want to rewind that, listen to it again, just to really get all the nuances of where we're going to put the poster.
I could cut it, but I won't.
No. It's that's what we're here for. All right, so here is what the patrons had to say last week. Brian from Video Game Drive-By says, "Hey guys, hey new viewers and lurkers. Welcome to the party. I love this episode. New baddies, good character bits, and a fantastic Janeway speech. Put a pin in it. And this is the first episode where I think I understood Neelix. I remember watching him struggle and with his condition and his jealousy, and I suspected he was afraid of loss and masked all of his fears with humor. It made me hungry for more Neelix episodes, not for his goofy side, but for his damaged man in need of a hug behind the mask. I wore his mask for years. I wear it now. Me too. Honestly, I've been Neelix for most of my life, and the more of him we get, the more true that becomes." That's interesting. That's very insightful. 80 stolen bio-neural Leola Flirp torpedo shuttles. I just read all of that correctly. I feel very proud of that. Joshua Gadiso says, we were talking about, we had a friend in Finland. Joshua Gadiso points out, you have a fan from South Africa here. You guys are multi-continental. I am so excited because we have things, we have obviously multi-hemisphere, but now we have south of the border.
It's awesome.
So cool. So happy to have everybody from everywhere you are.
You know, I want to say, I don't want to play favorites, but in all of my travels on the cruising ships, there's a lot of time to kill, and so you end up meeting a lot of strangers and having drinks with a lot of folks, and I've met people from all over this wonderful globe of ours. And most fun people to party with, South Africans and New Zealanders are awesome folks to party with. So I'm not saying the best, but on the list of bests.
Do you think it's because of the Southern Hemisphere? You think it might be? I mean, I've hung out with some Brazilians.
Brazilians are wonderful folk. Yeah,
they get Argentinians get into it.
It's very little sexier than the Portuguese language, of course. Those Brazilians who can speak Portuguese.
Well, there we go. Josh asked a question.
I think we should keep it thirsty this week because this episode is thirsty.
This episode is a lot of things.
Very thirsty.
It is a thirsty episode. Yes, and Mike, if you guys don't know from our previous series, Mike's a bit of a thirsty guy.
I've been known to be parched, baby.
Mike has been known to enjoy the little smoochy smooch on the screen. It's not my thing, but it's Mike's thing for sure. All right, so Joshua Gadiso asks the question of the week, which is the best scene in the episode is between Janeway and the Vidians in the transporter room. Kate Mulgrew was required to perform the gamut of emotions in just one scene, which she did excellently. Do you think the episode could have been strengthened by having the two Vidians captured an act or two earlier? This might have allowed the moral quandary and debate to play out in greater detail and with more complexity, squeezing all the potential dramatic heft out of the concept. Was the chase to capture the Vidians so important that it needed to take up the majority of the A-plot's focus? I think that's a really interesting idea. Mike, what if we had captured the Vidians earlier and made the meat of the episode about the moral quandary?
I think we would have had to end up stretching, because I think the moral quandary is best handled in under the time constraint. I think that was part of it. The pressure cooker was interesting, so I think the pacing was good. I wouldn't mess with it.
Yeah, I think I see some value in doing that, because I think the moral quandary is very interesting. But if I were to have changed things, I would have kept the chase as it was, and maybe cut the Neelix's jealous beat, and given us more time with that. But honestly, let me say this carefully. If we're going to debate this type of a moral quandary, I would rather do it with characters that we're more connected to than, if Janeway's going to kill someone to save another, it might be more interesting if it's people we know. Just put a pin in that.
Okay.
Ellen Gerton says, Kes, in this episode, does a fantastic job of essentially starting the Doctor on the path he will travel. Always loved the grotesquerie of the Vidians. Could have used a little less Neelix, because, well, Ethan Phillips is a fantastic actor. Little goes a long way. 75 caffeinated flirpolas. I think, Kes starting the Doctor's journey is probably the most important, beat of that episode as far as moving forward. I like it. An old friend from the Out of Practice podcast. Can you believe this? We heard from Gorbachev. Do you remember?
Oh my God.
We went on like a 15-minute runner on Gorbachev.
Yeah, and I believe graphics were made. I mean, we went the whole nine, if I'm not mistaken.
We went really hard on that name. Not
and then
necessarily
instantly forgot it, and have just been remembered it 5 years later.
I just learned it. Well, Gorbachev says, "Hey guys,
yo,
have you actually uploaded Keith's childhood self-made Star Trek episode yet? The one you promised to upload if you had 1,000 subscribers?" Well, guess what? Yeah, we sure as heck did. Star Trek The Wrath of Neener, starring myself, my younger brother Scott, and re-edited, remastered, and edited as a Star Trek episode by my older brother Sean, friend of the show. It is available on the YouTubes now. Just, search for The Wrath of Neener.
No, Keith's going to link it below, of course.
Sure, I'll link it.
Yeah. Now, Keith, what are we going to do we've been plateauing right around 2,700. When we get to that 3,000 subscriber mark, which you can help us do, I don't know how, but find a way. Get us to 3,000, because I can't figure it out. We've tried everything, except being good.
Yeah, look, we can't try what we can't do.
That's true.
I mean, look, I can't be in the Olympics either.
But when we get to 3,000, wow, wait till you see.
All right, well, look, we'll have to figure out what is a fun thing we can do when we hit 3,000, folks. Leave your suggestions below.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Oof.
Family friendly. Do something fun.
Hit that hype. Hit that hype.
Oh God, yes. Yeah, there's a hype button on the mobile thing on your phone.
Not for everybody. It's soft rolled out. It's weird, but.
Oh, really? Is it
yeah,
not
it's
for
not
everybody?
I think if you have a channel, if you've uploaded videos, I don't know. There's a whole thing. But if you have hype, give it to us.
It's a thing on the phone on the video. You hit a hype button. It helps help the smaller channels. And as we've proven, we're a deeply small channel. Give us the hype. Wow. Keith Blank says, first love the Anne bumper from the mysterious matriarch. You can't play it. We got flagged.
Did we?
We did not on YouTube, on
Spotify.
Spotify. No, I tried to appeal it, saying that we're
commentary.
We're a commentary. We're criticism and commentary, which is ridiculous. We'll see if that goes through. But yes, the mysterious matriarch singing along to the opening, fantastic. Keith continues. Next, Keith Bro Temporal Prime Directive covers your what if. Oh, okay. Yes, I had a what if, and the Temporal Prime Directive covers it. The only part of the episode...
Keith, you just did the book report cheat where you didn't remember, so you just restated what the person said in a different order, thinking that got you through, and we all watched it happen in real time.
No, my book report is... No, Keith, I couldn't disagree more. The Temporal Prime Directive, what does that have to do with anything? No, you're thinking completely wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea. I don't remember what
filibuster is what Keith does.
All you have to do is just disagree vehemently, and then they'll restate it so that I can understand what's happening. I don't remember what my what if was. About...
Well, because I asked you about the Prime Directive, and no, we're not gonna remember. What are we? This is a futile. Just a tip, if you're gonna quote something that we or answer or refute something we said mere moments ago, you're gonna have to tell us what we were talking about.
I mean, just think about it. It's Grandpa and Peepaw, and we both have dementia.
Like the poster thing we did our old runner about, that wasn't for y'all. That was for me. I need to know what we talked about a week ago.
Keith continues. After we just completely
Keith.
blew it on that. The only part of this episode I like is when Neelix builds his kitchen. It was one of the steps they took to make the show feel like the shortages of power, and I liked that. Agreed. Other than that, this episode makes no sense. Neelix having his hollow lungs is too far-fetched. Like, if he farts too hard, his lungs would disappear?
That'd be cool.
I mean, honestly, sometimes I farted so hard I wish my lungs would disappear. Also, I distinctly remember this episode being the day before my 12th birthday, and I had a massively infected ingrown toenail, and the Vidians looking the same way as my wound. Ooh! That is evocative. 61 bio-neural gel packs. Yeah. I feel old now. I was already in high school when this show came out. Logan T says, made it to my first live stream last night. Great episode.
Thanks, Logan.
And says, side note, it seems the Discord link on your Patreon page isn't working at the moment. Well, we fixed it. So you can get the Discord link to join it. You don't have to be a patron to join the Discord. There's just some bonus fun stuff you can have. If you do, the link is below. Jason Moe says, Anne's rendition of the Voyager theme, the mysterious matriarchs, Anne's mother's rendition of the Voyager theme song was absolutely incredible. As Keith said, it's so great that I don't think I'll ever be able to watch the opening credits again without hearing it in my head. Kind of like how the Star Trek IV theme song music was a part where I always did the lyrics. It's the one with the whales.
Ready?
Ready?
I've got to help those whales!
Anyway, a great episode of Voyager this week. Finally, a new Delta Quadrant alien race that is unique and interesting. Agreed. I will need Mike's help. Get ready already. This week, for the last 3 of my allotted 100 words, and this would be Anne's other bumper.
The 90s.
Yes, well played. Those are the 97, 98, 99, and 100. Hibernation Pod says, Mike is in. I was wondering, after this one and the watch along, and was so glad to hear it. It's strange how years after my original watch through, how such memorable moments happened so early on. I would have thought it would be much later, if asked. I really did like the HoloLungs idea. Maybe potential future medical tech? The Vidians are cool, amplified by Janeway's resolve on how to deal with them in future encounters. Keith's wisdom for the week. We exit the hole. as all things must, eventually. I was quoted multiple times on that.
Yeah, it was some of the best.
Just came right out of my hole. 80 caffeinated Flirpolas. Last week's 100, a one-timer. So Flirp only gets 100 the first time. I understand.
Oh, yeah, I get it.
All right, let's talk about the Cloud of the Clan MacLeod. This aired on February 13th, 1995. The top song continued to be...
Creep body, body. What was the actual song we're looking for?
No idea.
Oh.
TLC's Creep.
You can't get no creep. That's Scrubs. TLC. The song we'll never remember.
Okay. Well, you know what? We won't get a cease and desist because we're so far away. Even AI can't figure out what we're talking about.
No, I wonder if I played it on my phone if it would pick up too much.
Definitely would. That's right. That's right. The mystery. Sometimes it's about the mystery and it's about the journey. Let's be honest.
If I could just see the lyrics is what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I see. All right. Mike does a deep dive on Creep.
Oh, but how am I going to, not show the...
I don't know. Creep lyrics.
No, it doesn't have the lyrics, but...
This is riveting television, folks. Riveting.
Okay,
I hope
I can officially say, having now listened to some of it, I still don't remember it.
I think Creep-a-Deep is
the
new official version of
Now and Forevermore.
that song.
Yeah.
Now and Forever.
Remix!
Speaking of Now and Forever.
You know who often remixes Creep-a-Deep into their sets is DJ Mulgroove.
DJ Mulgroove. Absolutely. That's how she gets when you really want the club to start thumping.
Yeah, you
Creep-a-Deep. That's what does it. You know what was thumping on our movie screens? It was Billy Madison. I didn't save it at the same file size.
You have to live in your own shame.
I have to sit in it like that tiny chair.
Billy Madison, another one of the Adam Sandler oeuvre that some people absolutely adore and is just never did it for me. Jen loves it. Jen loves it.
I feel fine about the Adam Sandler oeuvre. Like, okay, sure.
Some are. I mean, Wedding Singer I think is an all-time classic.
Wedding Singer, sure, it's great. I'm just not a romantic comedy guy.
Wedding Singer, sure, it's great.
Wow. I have a deep dark heart full of coal. It's just like, okay.
I would say that past the Wedding Singer, I'm in your camp of all right. Even the Happy Gilmore and such, meh. But Wedding Singer is a all-timer.
I mean, I saw the musical. Time magazine cover was Secrets of the Stone Age. An exclusive look at the magical cave paintings that shed new light on early humans. I remember when they discovered these. Really cool, fascinating. It's back when we thought about history and thought about, how things used to be and how that might affect. Maybe we shouldn't make stupid mistakes over and over again.
GOP 96. They're off.
They're off. I mean, Bob Dole's going to be in charge. Bob Dole, ready to take over. Okay, so this episode.
Nope.
Now, Keith, waste your time.
Man,
Wait,
we're gonna
need to hear it. Yeah. There's your punishment.
Not a few people pointed out that sound has almost zero tangential connection to the actual sound that JD was referencing.
I mean, to be fair, that's true of everything that comes out of our mouth.
That's true.
However, but now when I do this, there you go. This episode was directed by David Livingston.
Hits keep coming for Livingston.
The first of 28 episodes of Voyager that David will direct. having already directed 17 Deep Space Nine episodes, 2 of Next Gen, and in the future, we'll do 15 episodes of Enterprise. This was written by Tom Sizolsi. Tom and Michael Piller worked on this with a story by Brannon Braga. Which now it is time for...
Oof, this has been a roughie.
Now Keith, waste your time.
Tom?
With trivial trivia. Oh boy. With Neelix's feet. I feel like this is more of like a punishment than an episode. Oh boy. So in trivial trivia, first off, that 8-ball that Janeway sinks was of course performed by Kate Mulgrew herself.
No.
DJ Mulgrew can sink an 8-ball. Well, it's in camera. I went back and watched it. Like there's no CG.
I'm confusing it with the break where like 12 balls go in.
Doesn't do the break.
Yeah.
But she does sink the 8-ball herself. Speaking of, the holographic environment of the pool hall, Chez Sandrine, was devised as a setting to facilitate some character scenes. Brandon Braga stated, "We wanted to create our version of the Enterprise's poker table from the Next Generation. We thought pool might be fun, so we created an old Marseille pool hall and ended up using it quite a bit."
Oh, I thought it was sort of like their VIX, right?
Yeah, we're going to try a few different places to try to be that before we find it, but this was the first attempt at it.
The French thing made me laugh because we have a early runner of the French actress who was supposed to play...
"Won't you let me out of this hair? I want to play pool."
I thought it'd be fun if she was available in the scenes.
I put a little Q out from the part of the hair, and I also play little tiny pool in the hair. All right, so this episode, I think, is the time to address this some of the Native American stuff in here. Now, I can't really speak to a great deal of it, but I can give a little bit of background about how did we get to some of this Native American stuff.
You're talking about the legitimacy of the lore?
The legitimacy of the lore.
Because I want to say... Oh man, maybe I shouldn't plant my flag yet.
Oh, plant it. Plant it.
Because now that we've brought it up so much before having really embraced any of it, like in the scripts, I've been on high alert. And here we had a whole kind of plot line about it. And I had to say it felt not offensive. Like it felt like it was coming from a place of like Kate, I thought, or Janeway was respectful about it. He's clearly shared it with other crew members, so it felt okay. Which,
well, and I agree, and I think
intention-wise, I should say.
I think intention-wise, especially, I love Janeway's reaction to it. The question is that real, or is that hot nonsense?
I mean, it sounded much more like Harry Potter Patronus to me, but
yeah. Well, I don't really know whether what of it is grounded in any level of truth and what of it is just nonsense. But I can give you this. Although some viewers were upset with the misrepresentation of Native American culture on the show, Janeway's vision quest and her finding her animal spirit guide were actually based on showrunner Michael Piller's personal experience when suffering a major back problem. He had checked himself into a pain control clinic where he was taught a visual exercise, and he subsequently imagined himself on a beach where he encountered a small lizard. For the beach sequence in Janeway's vision quest, a miniature beach set was used and was created on Paramount Stage 16. So this is already literally a white guy's fever dream. But let us talk about who their Native American consultant on the show was. So, the Native American consultant on Voyager was Jamaica Highwater, born Jackie Marks, who was a consultant on Native American culture on Voyager though he claimed American Indian ancestry, he was in fact of Eastern European Jewish background. Highwater was heavily criticized by actual, they have American Indians, and I'll say Native Americans or First Nation, for his writings, which typically contained stereotypical and inaccurate depictions of Native culture. Marks, in his fake identity as Jamaica Highwater, was hired as a consultant on Voyager to advise the producers on Native American culture. His work influenced the development of Chakotay's character, including key details such as animal guides, vision quests, and more. Michael Piller consulted with him before writing the animal guide subplot for The Cloud. Fake. Fake, fake, fake. Fake. But here is the part that really blows my mind. Because Marks was a Native American consultant on a whole bunch of things throughout the years, including up through 1995 when he was working on this. But Marks was exposed as an imposter in 1984 by activist Hank Adams and reporter Jake Anderson in separate publications. Despite this, Marks continued to be widely perceived by the general public as a Native American. In fact, in his obituary, in multiple places when he died in 2001, he was still listed that way. So he made an entire career out of pretending to be Native American and consulting on stuff. So this is why we have a lot of nonsense with poor Chakotay. Now, on the other side, like we had talked about, I think multiple people. Hold on. The actor who plays Chakotay actually enjoyed this storyline. So it's not necessarily Robert Beltran. It was not necessarily always. It's not necessarily entirely a bad thing. And I think that, like we're going to learn from Janeway's reaction to stuff, her openness to it, I think, is some good storytelling there. But this whole thing, this Jackie Marks feels. I was going to make a comparison to like a Rachel Dolezal, but it's hard to tell because was he a con artist, or did he just fancy himself this way, want to be this way? Was it coming from a good place? It seems like probably not, if he, even after being exposed, continued to make money off of just making stuff up.
Yeah, yeah, it's the money thing for me. Like, I get real prickly with mediums.
Sure.
It's not so much that I don't have a sense of spirituality or that I don't, have an agnosticism about what could possibly be possible to who you could talk to or whatnot. But, and even, I've heard some people strongly argue that, well, a lot of the mediums just make people feel better, and it's a way to help them through their grief. But ultimately, these people are taking money.
Yeah.
And in case of some of those people, like Sylvia Brown, who would just go on Montel Williams and tell people, oh yeah, your sister you've been searching for 30, oh yeah, she's dead, she's buried in Arizona. Just make shit up. So It's hard to stretch the benefit of the doubt. The question, I guess, that we could wrestle with, forget whether the person's a charlatan or who was bamboozled or whatnot, whose job at the network to do the due diligence are we throwing under the bus there? Because as an actor, I'm not going to go look up the CV of the person who's consulting me on everything I'm doing.
No, of course not.
But somebody's job is to do that.
You'd think the producers would.
Yeah.
And they now I understand we didn't have the internet. There wasn't all this information as readily available. But you had 11 years to sort out, when he got exposed. It wasn't like he was exposed like 6 months before. It was 11 years previous to that.
So I think we can put a point on it by saying the reason that due diligence wasn't done is because it wasn't prioritized. The consultant of Native American, First Nation lore was somebody they hired real quick.
Right. So you get points for wanting to have one and bothering to do that work, but maybe call a reference.
I mean, it happens. Google it now, but there's many a time people find out that the person doing the ASL for politicians or at concerts or whatnot
Sure.
don't sign. They're just
Right.
making up hand gestures and getting paid.
What a mess of a species we are. All right, our guest stars this week include Angela Dorman as Ricky, Judy Geeson as Sandrine, Larry A. Hankin as Gaunt Gary, Luigi Amodio as the Gigolo. Amodio Gigolo. All right, you know who would be able to speak words? Oh, here's some behind the scenes. There is David Livingston directing.
Got quite a hat on.
Put a hat. Well, it was the 90s. You got to have a cool hat.
The 90s.
Yes, I mean, that whole... It is really funny when you see the behind-the-scenes pictures. What the non-actors are wearing are so specifically dated.
Yeah.
Because we all wore those hats. All right, so you know who is never dated in their clothing? They always looked fly and appropriate for their time. But even if there was a time machine, they'd look great.
Keith, that is the patrons. Join the team at patreon.com/KNM, and you could be a captain. Brian Kimball Biersick, Jamie Lubin, Jason Moe, Deborah, Peter Banky Holmes, Fridge 87, and Alan Girton. The commanders, Joshua Cronin, DC, Anton Thies, Mike, and Alan Girton. Lieutenants, Andrew Hayes, Alan, The Mysterious Household, Worf's Big Old Boot Shivs, Charles Babbage, John Kelly, Keith Blank, Casey Alexander, Harry Pothead, Carl Fisher, Deborah Scott Trent, Otis Bucket, Goo Babies, Peter Howie, Quark's Bar, and good old Alan Girton, Ensigns, Scotty B, Merritt Neat, Hardly Broken Composer, Byron Woosley, AI Sausage, Yum Yum, Ben B, Bob, Miles Davis, Jamie Rayborn, April H, Joe Saporito, John K, Brian from Video Game Drive-By, Nikolai Ivanovich Lobachevsky, YouTube viewer, Hibernation Pod, Mary Holcomb, Rogue Knight, Lady Behind the Wall, Michael Champion, Andrew Ferry, Yanba, Beagle Boy, Sanjil Aroha, Brian Salas, Bloody Clown, Logan Vine, Alan Girton, Academy members, Engineer Maynard, Jerome A. Gibson, April H., James Hubbard, Robo Ethical Chanel, R. Morrison, Bob NCC, Bully to Pursue, Lutz Krimmer, Wyatt Eldridge, Kevin Miles, Ryan Caputo, Old Guys Eating Oatmeal, Kelly Gray, Beal, Fedora the Explorer, Michael Champion, Fire Bloodwine, Christopher Martin, Chris, Admiral, Funniest Frontier, Joshua CLG, Ben D., Samuel A. Smith, SD Hero, Alan Girton, Santas, they sent us stuff in the mail, JD Makes, Colin Dig and Chris Mitchell, Joshua, Kevin, Justine, and Alan Girton. And the Chancellor, Jen and Alan Girton. Keith,
Yes, indeed.
there's a Hall of Famer as well. Let's talk about it.
Oh boy, I'm so excited too. They include Casey Clark, Brian Kaufman, Jason Moe, Joshua Cronin, The Mysterious Anne, Worf's Big Ol' Boot Shivs, Colin Dagan, Quark's Bar, Peter Banky, CRM Productions, Jennifer Massanova, Cloud Lover 69, Charles Babbage, Kevin Miles, Frank Rich, Bryant Kimball Biersack, JD at JD Makes, Ryan Chesley, Yanba, Anton Thies, Merritt Neath, Jamie Lubin, Mike, Nikolai Ivanovich Lobachevsky, Alan, Carl Fisher, and Alan Girton.
You can join the team and get that joke at patreon.com/KNM. Until then, Keith, let's find ourselves in the screening room.
I think that might be your best bumper.
Thanks, man.
I really enjoy that one.
Keep it tight.
It's really catchy. Really catchy. Okay. The Cloud. Season 1, Episode 5. It's been several weeks on our journey home, and the permanence of their new life is weighing on folks, including Janeway. But she's struggling with the distance her role as captain puts between herself and the rest of the crew. She's the boss, but has nobody to talk to. She walks through the very impressive set,
Yeah, dude.
and everybody snaps to. But it's kind of lonely. She goes into Neelix's mess hall and talks to Harry and Parris. They complain about Neelix's horrible cooking. But they don't invite her to sit, well, because she's the captain. It's a little awkward, and Kate's performance is rock solid.
Yep.
There's a setup as Kim and Parris discuss showing... there's a camera setup as Kim and Parris discuss whether or not they should have Janeway sit down, showing her in the background struggling with the coffee. And it's just really rock-solid storytelling. Janeway... Yeah, that's the shot there. Janeway sees that all the coffee is out and goes into the kitchen to find some. Everything is vegetables and gross. Neelix enters, and she asks him for coffee, But there isn't any. He offers her instead some horrible goop and tells her that, you know what? You shouldn't replicate any coffee because you have to set a better example of conservation for the crew. It looks horrible when he pours it, but before she gets a chance to drink it, she gets a call from Chakotay. Bridge to Janeway. On my way. Funny beat. Well
Great
played.
beat. And there's a seed planted here that comes in later, and I like it. Because, the show is doing a good job of showing us how things are different, right? And the setup with Kim and Parris is great because, Parris is like, no, there's a chain of command, and it's not right for us to do such and such. And Kim's like, but she doesn't have any admirals or people to talk to. She can't even FaceTime anybody.
Right.
Things are different. And then we meet up here with Neelix, and it's weird because this isn't the first time he sort of tells her what to do. Like, he acts as though he is no one's subordinate, right?
For sure.
And that's an interesting seed to plant early in the episode because it comes back later. I wish they followed through with it, but we'll get to that.
Well, I thought they did. Well, they did, and then they sort of bought it back. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because I think we'll get to it, but that's one of the best scenes of the show so far, in my opinion.
100%.
And then the next scene, he's like at a cocktail bar, just walks into the bridge again. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
Yeah, very annoying. We'll get to it. But I love this beat, and they talked a lot about in the production of this episode that the concept, right, the monster and all that was very effects heavy, very expensive to build the monster and the CG, but that story itself could only be about 20 pages long. Mm-hmm. So they had to fill the rest of the 40 pages with character beats and stuff like that, which they do. And I think this episode is extremely uneven, but when it's good, I think this beat here, talking about the isolation, the loneliness of being a captain in the situation, is beautifully done, and shows like a wisdom and an empathy for the captain in that position here, and then finishing it with a comedy beat. I thought like this teaser, this opening was great, really well written, really well performed.
So this is episode 5. So I'll tease it then. Try to remind me when we get to the end. I have a hot take. About Janeway this far in, and it's probably blasphemous, but just remind me if you can.
Okay. All right. Hot take in episode 5. Whoo! Holy moly. So Janeway gets to the bridge, and we've discovered a giant nebula filled with Omicron particles. Scratch that. There's caffeinated flirpolas in that nebula. And this is where we get, there's coffee in the nebula. Great, iconic. We didn't really realize that this is going to be iconic, but it sure is.
You know what else is iconic? The chairs on the bridge here might be the most comfortable looking, like, bridge chairs.
Well, if you're going to sit in a chair for 85 years.
There's one. It proves me one thing, though. There are no cats on Voyager.
That is the damn truth.
Because those chairs, no chance.
Oh my God, these chairs behind me here just been murdered. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm gonna have to, like, at this point, all new furniture has to be cement. There's nothing you can do.
You know what you gotta find, dude? Because they're all over Amazon. You just need some slip covers, bro.
I'm not putting a slip cover over a beautiful chair that I just bought.
Okay. Well, then you're gonna throw it away.
Yeah. Anyway, so in Act 1, Janeway asks Chakotay about the spirits of the crew. And they're low, because they're all going through a period of mourning, which I thought was also a really insightful truth here. That as we, it's what I was saying last week about how the impacts of the distance away grow over time. And we're having to really wrap our heads around what being 75 years away actually means. And so, of course, there's going to be all the stages of grief that they're out here. And we don't have a counselor. But Chakotay offers a solution for Janeway, at least. A spirit animal. I'll let more qualified people speak to that, but to Janeway's credit, she's 100% on board and wants to know everything. which I thought it's a great look for her. She thinks Chakotay must be a bear. You know what? In some circles, he is. They arrive at the nebula and head in. Kim is wowed, and Tuvok, apparently in a private-ish comm, tells him to be more chill. It is interesting the technology of having a little bit of a private comm, but I guess you could. It's like what a text message would be today.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cute. So they start noticing strange things in the nebula right away. They run into an energy barrier. Technobabble, they keep pushing through. And then arrive at a different looking type of space. And when Tuvok says, I don't have any precedent for this, Kim shades him right back. And then the field has closed behind them. Whatever, technobabble. Meanwhile, in the mess hall, Neelix is furious that they've gone into another mysterious and potentially dangerous anomaly. I think Neelix is the one who needs to have more chill.
Yeah, right? Like, you wanted a bath, bro. So now you got it, and now you're with us. So what do you want?
This story arc for him is odd. Like, why? Like, at this point, he's had... I don't think they know how to characterize Neelix yet.
Oh, that was the point I made in my watch along. I just... With Quark, they figured it out pretty quick. What his ingredients were going to be. What the dash of this, pinch of that.
Yeah.
Neelix, they're throwing a lot against the wall so far. Okay, we're going to show his vulnerable side. We're going to show his jealous side. We're going to show his funny side. We're going to show this. And none of it is really kind of stuck yet.
Like, what is he? Because we introduced him as sort of a pirate, but then he's, like, bumbling for water, and then he has this weird jealousy beat, and now he's, like, afraid to go... Like, why is he on the journey if he's afraid to go on risk? Why is he on the journey at all? Like, it's...
So...
And his relationship with Kes is bizarre.
Last week I was willing to kind of turn the other cheek, right?
Yeah.
This week, this extended sort of smoochy smooch, which I'm not being a prude. It's just... And then his reaction to it... I've never been in a nebula before. I mean, she's feeling away. She's feeling saucy. That's fine. But this is coming after he sort of is being a D-bag. He was kind of a prick to Janeway earlier. I'm back. I'm on Camp Keith now from last week of like, why? Like, what is he have? What is he offering?
I'm
big
sort
feet.
It is confusing to me. I mean, I don't, and clearly that they don't know either. Like, look, it's early in a series. We're trying to figure out who these characters are, and because these ones don't have defined roles on the crew, then they're trying to figure it out. Their relationship just feels icky, and it's part because she's 3. It's part because she's crazy young. I mean, at this point, she was 21, and he was like our age. So he's like 20 years her senior. And
her wig is better this week.
Her wig is better. And so it's just... I don't know what to make of any of it at this point, and I wish that I did.
Yeah, I guess we'll see.
So she, on the other hand, is very on board for the adventure and makes out with him to chill him out. So then the blue goo outside starts attacking the ship. It's sticking to the hull and draining the energy. And they have to use up a lot of energy to escape. Now, of course, the whole reason they went into the nebula is because they're running out of energy. And they have to shoot a photon torpedo in order to get out and back into more pink goo. But there's an interesting thing here. Chakotay mentions they only have 38 photon torpedoes and no way to replace them. So using one of their photon torpedoes is kind of a big deal because you only have 38. I can't think of anybody else who'd be running out of expensive torpedoes that maybe we should have thought more carefully before we started using them all. So,
also, but I do like the fact that, yes, you could make the argument that, oh, well, we should just beeline towards home and not take any unnecessary risks. However, we're resource limited. So it's like in the zombie game, Keith. You gotta loot, man. You gotta go loot those houses. There might be zombies up in there, but there also may be soup. So
zombies are soup. Yeah,
maybe a bullet. You know.
Well, and that is the journey of the show. And like, you know, you're using resources to travel, but you also need to go. You need all of it. Resource scarcity, one of the major themes of the show.
Sometimes you gotta go in the zombie's butthole.
I'm on board.
I mean, you might not know in the beginning it's his butthole, but then eventually you find out.
Look, whatever it is, you just gotta loot the crate. But they've lost 11% of their energy in this adventure.
That's not insignificant.
Not insignificant at all. So in Act 2, Parris wakes Kim up in bed. Sadly, it's not what you're thinking. He broke in to take Kim to the holodeck. Kim talks... Another weird interaction. Kim talks about his mother's womb for far too long.
Well, Parris also breaks into this dude's room and then says he learned a lot of stuff in prison, which brings other connotation that's bizarre. The whole there's a lot.
I think this episode is so uneven, where like some of the Janeway beats are great. The Kim remembering his mother's womb and wanting to go back in, I'm like...
It's such a bizarre walk and talk
we
dialogue.
don't have a counselor. We need a counselor.
Well, they at least bring that up. They do say that.
And at least Parris is like, dude, what?
Well, that's another benefit of this week is, though it's not monumental shift, I do feel more Team Parris this week. Whereas, like, he's kind of fun this week and not weird. Not just, like, creepy and weird.
Yeah, no, he feels more like a person that we know.
Yeah.
So we arrive at our first appearance of the holodeck on Voyager. And Parris has created a bar in Marseille, France, that he used to frequent when he was in the academy. It's filled with the mixture of humans and aliens, and they're all super horny for Parris.
They're horny for everybody.
I mean, this feels natural. Because, look, if you could create a holodeck program for your person, wouldn't everybody be horny for you?
Yeah. There'd be a lot less pool, I'll tell you that.
You wouldn't need to do pocket pool.
No.
That's the thing. Just, never mind. I'm sucking those jokes back up. But it feels like, yeah, this totally makes sense.
I noticed this in the watch along, but so I love that in this like French, they don't really date it, but it seems old timey ish. But
well,
look at the back. There's definitely like a computer screen back there.
Yeah, but I think it is designed to look like what it looked like when Parris was in the academy. So they've obviously kept it old and kitschy and original as part of the marketing.
It's cool. I like the design quite a bit.
Yeah, it's interesting.
This guy's been in everything. I thought he was in Deep Space Nine, but I Googled it and he was not.
Oh, we're going to get there. So there's a barmaid, Sandrine, and a random lady, and a male sex worker. They drink holographic wine, which I want to know more about the science of holographic food. Because I always thought when you went into the holodeck, when you had food, they'd replicated the food for you to eat. But this is holographic wine? Seems dangerous to be drinking holograms.
Why? You're not really drinking. You think you taste it?
Yeah. I don't think it like disappears when you have it on your lips. Like, why else? Otherwise, like, why would they be doing it? You're like, doing that is like having the tea party with your like 8-year-old, and you're like pretending to sip the food. That's not fun. Give me some tea.
Well, I guess they can't replicate it though because we don't have enough replicator resources, right?
That's right. So somebody knows. JD probably knows the rules to the holographic food, but I'm curious about it.
See, it's funny because I was hook, line, and sinker about the hollow lungs, which one of our members disputed, and now I do kick back a little on the hollow food. So it seems like we can't have our hollow cake and eat it too.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. Do we get to eat it or not? JD, tell me whether I'm allowed to eat the hollow cake.
It's funny you say that because Jen is at work today. She has to work a dubby, and somebody belatedly sent her Melissa's cupcakes. Can I eat them?
No.
I feel like I can.
Are you going to eat all of them and tell her they showed up at all?
No, just like a few. Because she's gone all day, and I don't want them. I want someone to enjoy them in their prime.
The cupcakes last. Stop trying to justify eating her birthday present.
I mean, spoiler alert, I ate some.
Too late. Hilarious. So, the central feature in Sandrine's is a pool table. Parris has included a pool hustler as a character played by Larry Hankin, who you'd know from Breaking Bad and literally 200 other IMDb credits. Kim tries to get Parris to admit that he misses home as well. Interesting little beat there, that Parris is still sort of fronting it. But not necessarily his mother's womb. So in engineering, Torres spins some nebula goo and goes to the doctor with a question. He is characteristically annoyed to find out that they're even in a nebula. And he says, "A nebula? What are we doing in a nebula?" "No, wait, don't tell me. We're investigating. That's all we do around here." "Why pretend that we're going home at all? All we do is investigate every cubic millimeter of this quadrant." But he does notice something interesting in the goo. But we don't know what it is yet.
So, quick aside. For every element that we spoke about before, where they're not sure what they're doing with Neelix, the opposite is true here. Literally every line, everything, every plot, every movement, every interaction with a rando cast member is pitch perfect. I can tell it's a story arc, and every week we're learning a little bit more, and we're moving towards something.
Yep.
It's great.
And he was the one that was supposed to be just sort of like a recurring spice thing, and actually had, becomes one of the mains. I think because of that, they knew what to do with him, and Bob Picardo can sort of sell anything, and brought a lot to it.
Well, and it's an interesting sci-fi concept, right? What if basically an orphaned AI, what would happen if we let it develop sort of asynchronously?
Well, it's deeply Star Trek.
It's deeply Trek, but so is we're in a completely new quadrant we know nothing about. We find a creature we've never met before. Anything could happen. I mean, that's pretty good plot.
Sure.
Availability as well, but thus far less successful.
So in Janeway's office, Chakotay comes in with his medicine bundle. He wants to send Janeway on her journey to discover her own animal guide.
Ayahuasca.
Again, I will defer to people who know more about this to say more on it. But Chakotay sends Janeway on a psychotropic journey via some gizmo that she has her hand on. And she arrives on a beach, staring at a lizard of some sort. Luckily, we're interrupted by Torres with some news. Torres has been through this before with Chakotay, which is funny.
She tried to kill it, right?
And despite the fact he just said he'd never shown his medicine bundle to anyone before. Chakotay, are you a bit of a player? I've never shown anybody this, but the next person who walks in,
Keith, did your parents ever walk in on you exploring your medicine bundle when you were 12?
Not that I'm aware of. I think my parents had enough grace to, had they clocked that, to slowly,
back out
do the Homer in the bushes.
Yeah. I'm a lizard.
But I thought but we pointed out that Torres tried to kill her spirit guide, which hilarious. I thought that was funny.
Very funny.
So she explains that she and the doctor have discovered that the nebula is not a nebula at all. It's a giant life form. So in Act 3, the bridge crew try to figure out how much damage they did to the life form. And the doctor on the view screen, this is a great shot that I don't think we've ever used again in the series. But having the doctor on the view screen in the background while we're doing this research, great angle of the bridge. Really interesting. And he says, did we do damage? Well, let's see. You ran your ship through it, fired phasers at it, and blew a hole in it with a photon torpedo. I'd say there's a pretty good chance you did some fairly significant damage. And Janeway says, computer, mute audio.
Awesome.
Bob in the background gives terrific face after having been muted.
I will say that this sort of comedic repartee, when it's hitting, and usually Janeway or Picardo's involved in that, it is pitch perfect, like tonally perfect, and it gives that sort of like we work together. I would agree with you. Yes, mostly uneven thus far, kind of in every episode. But when it hits hard, and it gives me every confidence that if we can move the needle to mostly this, I'm gonna love it.
Oh, for sure, no question. And there's an interesting other layer to this comedic beat, where she abruptly mutes him, right? Which is funny on its face and a great beat, but also treating him like an object. And at what point does that start to become inappropriate? And at what point are we going to make the transition that you can't just turn him off like a light bulb? Interesting questions. So, naturally, having been photon torpedoed and having non-consensual colonoscopy with the starship, it has indeed wounded the creature. So they need to find a way to heal it, via zapping it with technobabble. So they plan to go back into the life form. Back in the mess hall, Neelix is feeding some extras more of his horrible food when he discovers that they're going back into the nebula. Neelix freaks out and goes directly to Janeway, barging directly into her office in the middle of a mission. And he says, Captain, I understand that this nebula we've discovered is some sort of monster? Not a monster, Neelix. It's a life form. Excuse me if I sound crazy, but someone may have been playing a joke on me. But aren't you planning to take us back into the belly of the beast? No joke. Why? Because we heard it and we have to help it recover. I did not come on board the ship to be a veterinarian, Captain, and I thought you were a man of unlimited talents. I just reached my limit, so if you don't mind, Cass and I will wait on board my little vessel for you to return. Janeway, all our crews are busy preparing for this mission. I'm not pulling them off their duties to prepare your ship for launch, and I'm not going to drop you off on the side of the road every time we hit a bump. When we finished, you can leave. If you want to leave, that's your business. But for the moment, find yourself a seat with a good view, because like Jonah and the whale, you're going in. Is that final? Dismissed. That's a Starfleet expression for get out. Janeway hands him his own balls, and I am here for it.
Yeah, it's incredible. No notes. 0 notes. The questions, though, is like, it does... We haven't really discussed since the pilot, which feels like a long time ago, why he joined. Like, he comes in with, like, clearly understanding, this isn't why I joined. To which I was thinking, yeah, could you remind me why you did?
I think it's a fair question.
Right? He liked the bath, but...
He likes the bath.
What is he actually contributing? That's really the question we need to figure out.
Well, we're trying to figure out how he can contribute, and thus far it's with horrible vegetables.
Like, I mean, there was that one episode where he sort of was Wikipedia for us. Like, he was describing some way that this quadrant worked. We should be doing that. That works.
And that's what he sold himself as. And I think if we were able to establish better why they've chosen to be here, right? Mm-hmm. Because it's like, admittedly, he was in a tiny little ship with practically no resources, and he had, made some enemies. So I understand, like, look, can I tag along for like a month and just get out of this area here? But I think that's part of it. I think we're trying to figure out what that is. But I love the fact that she's just, you're like, I get it, you're cute, I get it, you're fun, we have a little, repartee here, but I'm the captain, and you need to respect that. That
restraint she shows, because she'd be well within her right to say exactly that. Yo, I'm the captain, watch who the F you're talking to, but she doesn't. She has some sass, and she's pretty firm about it, and yet keeps her cool. Like, it's not imbalanced, which I think is awesome.
Yeah, I think it's first-rate.
Lesser writers, I think, would make her more angry, and they would show, well, because she's isolated, which we talked about earlier, that's creating anger or resentment. They could have used it but they don't, and I think it's for the benefit of the character.
Or feeling that because she's a woman, she would need to be louder or more aggressive to make that statement. She has all the gravitas you could ever need or ever want, and I think she is giant and strong in that scene, in her sort of like sassiness and sort of like, blasé way that she handles it. Just great work. I really love it. And
I watched that scene 3 times.
Yeah. It's just it's so strong, and Neelix needs it, and we need, and the way Neelix has behaved, we as the audience need to see that happen. Yep. Because otherwise we're going to turn on him. And I think that was good for protecting Neelix, for him to get his comeuppance a little bit. So then we get some big time shakes, and someone falls off of the 2nd story of engineering. That doesn't seem safe. The ship in Act 4, the ship has lost inertial dampers.
Keith, do you know how I know that you've ruined my life?
Oh, do tell.
When that person did, you know what I thought about? First thing I thought about, the first neuron that fired. Oh, that reminds me of when that Vedic threw himself off. The promenade.
It's probably the same stunt guy.
Yeah. And I was like, why? You shouldn't have that context, Mike. Oh, there it is.
There it is. Look at that set, though.
So cool.
So
little Dutch
cool.
angle. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, because we've lost inertial dampers and we're holding on to stuff. And they are forced to vent out yet more of their energy to get the ship under control. Now, Mike, do you know what the inertial dampers do and why they're important?
Do they do our gravity?
They do our gravity, but more than that, they, acceleration and deceleration, right? At the speeds that this ship is going. If we went to warp, oh god, if we went to warp without inertial dampers on, you would be soup on the back of the wall.
Right.
And the same thing coming to a stop from warp. We would be soup constantly without the inertial dampers. So we might need those.
How's this for a surprise, He-Man?
So, they have been pushed deep into that creature. Janeway has a good line. Let's hope it has a slow digestive process. Chakotay.
They're more subtle with their poo reference than we are.
Indeed. We are not a subtle show. Chakotay thinks their propulsion is what is causing the reaction from the creature. So they're going to have to find a way out without using their engines. But then, I think it was Parris realizes they can ride the circulatory system to get out.
We're doing Magic School Bus
time.
Yeah.
Which I love. It's such a cool idea. Great solve for that. Great way to do it. Circulatory system, mind you, not digestive system.
I also enjoy that for the most part, because a lot of the on-screen stuff we see of the creature is actually pretty bad. As far as the VFX for the show has gone, it's
despite being incredibly expensive.
But, that said, I do, for as uneven as things have been, the script is very descriptive and their problem solving is very active in a way that we never feel a loss of needing to see those visuals. Them talking through it works.
They describe it better than they show it, interestingly. But it's a cool idea. And then, because he hasn't finished annoying literally everybody on the ship at least twice, Neelix arrives with snacks on the bridge and has declared himself the morale officer. So I have questions about this.
Yeah, number one, I've been on many cruise ships, Keith. You know what I can't do? Now, I'm a featured performer, baby.
Yeah?
Featured.
You sing the opening number.
Do you know what I can't do? Walk on the bridge.
Yeah, because you want to know what it isn't for you? Any way you want it, that's the way you need it. Any way you want it.
Mike just got arrested.
Yeah, 100%. And that's a cruise ship, not a military ship.
Yeah, You can't even open my phone without passing some sort of like IR scan. He can just walk on with hors d'oeuvres.
And also, okay, so a couple of things. Getting chewed out by the captain made him think canapes? And like...
Now Melissa's mini cupcakes.
Mini cupcakes, maybe pilfered mini cupcakes. Illicitly pilfered cupcakes.
I do have to say, it's ahead of its time, though, because this gave me great joy. So I think we've talked about it on the show before. As a quick reminder to anybody who may be in the corporate world, HR, it ain't there to protect you. HR is there to protect the company. And people kind of caught on to that. So you know what they did, Keith? They started calling them head of culture. And so when he rolls on and says he's the head culture officer or whatever.
I'm the new morale officer.
Oh, in one of my offices we had a morale chief or something like that. It made me cackle.
Yeah, and he's going to improve morale by annoying everybody.
Because they made it clear his food is bad.
Yeah, so like I'm gonna be like be loud, annoying, intrusive, and feed you bad food. Maybe it's the team morale building exercise is throwing him out the airlock. Could be. So anyway, look, Neelix, we're figuring out. We're sorting it out. But yeah, it's...
And I think it bothers Mulgrew as well, because it's not consistent. Because she has to consistently play, oh, he's cute, right? Oh, he's cute. But he's not. And so it's just incongruent.
Like, if you shut up in my basement all the time,
yeah,
I'd be so pissed. Which is in no way... a criticism of the performance.
No.
This is 100% all on the right. Because Ethan Phillips is a terrific actor.
Yeah.
And he's being asked to play crazy, disparate feelings that don't make sense within a character, and he's selling it. He's doing what he can. But
Keith,
anyway,
look, it's the butthole.
There's the butthole. So we arrive back at the butthole. I was going to say wound, but let's say butthole, and try to zap it to cause it to regenerate. It doesn't work.
A little gold bond.
Little medicated powder.
Witch hazel.
Get the makeup off at least. But the doctor calls and gives them the idea of using the ship to suture the wound. Now, of course, they can't get to the butthole without using their propulsions, so they send a probe out to bother the zappers, like peanut butter for the dog, to fly themselves to the wound to heal it. Now, if we're doing the analogy that this is like the pain receptors around a wound trying to protect the wound, I don't know if you can distract those.
I think it's like one of those things where...
it's not like a guard dog.
No, but I think it's kind of like... I think of it more on occasion if... like when I would have a splinter and someone was going to take my splinter out. Mm-hmm. Sometimes... my mom would work on the splinter and my dad would like pinch my arm over here and kind of just distract my... Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. I just made that story up. That never happened. My father never assisted in any medical procedure, but I was trying to like, it's maybe a slightly better analogy. I don't know how my dog would respond.
That's hilarious. How can you spot a sociopath? How easily they lie about their childhood.
Well, at least I fessed up.
Anyway, it works. Hooray. So, and they heal the monster and they move forward. Later, after they escape, Kim makes the gesture to invite Janeway to Sandrine's. And as Sandrine's is a stand-in for the poker table on Next Gen, which Picard doesn't ever go to until the series finale. It is notable that Janeway goes along and proves herself to be a formidable pool player and an effective hustler.
Also, mad props to Harry Kim.
Yes!
Just like the humanity of it, it really... I actually don't know. I guess I got the impression from... I can't remember how or why, that we didn't like him or that people like thought he was kind of boring or whatnot, but I so far have been, like I said, I feel like he's a surrogate for me And I just think he's made some... As the ensign, he has every reason to be reserved and not make a humanitarian gesture like this, and yet he does, and it was moving. It actually choked me up.
No, it shows some real empathy and some real wisdom that I really like. I like it for the character, and I like it for Janeway. You know, another way of distinguishing herself from Picard, and not necessarily based on character, but based on circumstance. And I love the fact that the solution that we set up at the very beginning, the isolation, the loneliness of Janeway as captain, realizing that she's going to have to become family with the crew. You can't just be the distant captain like Picard would be.
She gets that guy literally says, "I want to make love to you all night." Within 30 seconds.
The gigolo immediately says he wants to investigate her nebula. Parris says, "I'm sorry, if I had some warning you were coming." And she says, "You would have changed it, and I would have missed all the fun." Love it.
Couple of mic drop moments.
Absolutely love it.
Also, not lost on me, Harry Kim, who was so buttoned up could not cheat on girlfriend, is making out with a couple holograms this week.
I mean, we got... If we're 75 years away, you say maybe you don't, make out with the alien lady, but come on, you gotta give me a hologram.
I didn't say I was judging. I just was observing.
But anyway, so Janeway completes the loop. We've escaped the butthole, and that is the cloud.
For distinguished achievement and unintended consequences, Keith and Mike present the Salamaremmies! Tiny baby puppies and salamanders, leaving little orphans across the universe. Welcome to the Salamaremmies!
Yes, indeed. I still didn't do a graphic for our first segment because I forgot. I remembered it last time when we were at this point in the episode last week. The rewrite. Mike, if you had a rewrite for this episode, what would it be? Oh my God, you did it!
I did.
Holy, I can't believe this moment that just happened live on the show. Holy moly.
Hi, buddy.
I feel honored. This has been the best part of the episode. I can't believe it happened.
So, mine is silly, but I'm going to close a wormhole for us.
Yeah.
I would just make Neelix an incredible cook. Right? And then all these things, it's like, oh man, he's so annoying, you shouldn't, but man, those canapes, dude. Right? Like, it's quirky, it's stupid, but hey, at least it gives me some sort of continuity.
A reason to like him as opposed to tolerate him.
Yeah, or it's like, look, I mean, he's hairy, I don't want to make out with him, his feet are nasty, but damn those cupcakes.
Yeah. I think that's great, and I think just for the sake of similarity, I think I'm going to keep it on Neelix, because I think that is where this episode it suffers a little bit. And I think yours solves why we want Neelix there. I think we also, in this episode, if we're going to spend this much time on him, I would solve why he wants to be there. Right? And make his story about... He can even be like, why are we taking all these risks? Like, what? Hold on. Do I really want to be here and have the interaction with Kes, as opposed to them making out? Is like for them to discover, okay, we've been here a month. Is this working? Is this not working? Why? Like, what's our plan for the next year, for the next whatever? Do we really want to be doing this? And maybe start some intrigue, right? Maybe it's like, yeah, well, we're on the run, right? If we get off this ship, the people are gonna, they're gonna catch us. The authorities are gonna catch us, or the bad guys, something like that. Add a little bit of intrigue, add a little bit of mystery to it, add a little bit of danger, which would explain why he's here and willing to put up with all of these things. And I think both of those things would make him more tolerable for the audience and for the crews.
He could have also enumerated it during that scene with the captain, right? When he's like, I didn't sign up for this. I came on board to blah, blah, blah. Like, there was an opportunity for it even.
Right, because we didn't have that couplet there because I don't think the writers know why he signed up for this. I signed up for this because the producers really want an alien-looking guy in the main cast.
Yeah.
Because that's where we're at this point.
And once you got the suit, you got to use it.
Yeah, you got it. They spent a lot of money on that makeup, so they got to find a way. So, we're on a journey. But we have 6.5 more seasons to figure out what do we do with this guy. Let's do our best moment.
Let's stay in that scene because it's that scene. I just, I know it could. You could boil it down to she just puts him in his place, but as you said, it protects him for the time being by letting us feel like at least he got. It's addressed that, hey, you're kind of speaking out of turn.
Yeah.
But it also is a good look for her because Janeway plays so many levels in this episode. She's firm. She's got to make decisive action. She's got to defer to her team. She's got to be a little sad. She's got to be a little sassy. She gets to let her hair down a little bit at the end. I mean,
she's on board with Chakotay's culture. She's interested and excited about it.
And it's not just the culture of it. It's that, when you have an issue and somebody you trust is like, hey, I did this and it worked for me, you can either scoff or you can be like, I trust you, I'm on board. I think that is, it's all
have some curiosity, right? And I think that she has curiosity, she has strength, she has vulnerability, and she has a sense of fun and a sense of whimsy. And
to be able to lay that, I guess back to my best moment, to lay that smack down with such it's so satisfying and yet does not use the verb or the emotion anger at all.
No.
There's quirk, there's sass, there's...
And after showing a great deal of patience with him in the opening, right? She has patience, she has a sense of humility, she's not going to try and she's not going to pee on his tree.
Yeah.
And so but you dare on mine.
She does a really interesting vocal take. Like, it's almost like snapping, but she's like, or she does some sort of I don't know what, I can't remember precisely, but it was such a cool choice. And I was like, oh, I imagine being in the edit room being like, that's the one.
Yeah, for sure. And so for me, it's going to be the opening scene with Janeway. And I think I think for me, it's that the couple of moments in a little bit of a montage where she walks in, just wants to hey, what's going on, guys? And everyone's like, yes, ma'am. And the isolation that comes from you with Torres there. She walks into a room and everybody's nervous. That's got to weigh on you to make people nervous like that, because then you can't really be vulnerable the way you want to. And then seeing talking to Parris and Kim at the table, right? So you see her wanting to engage on a friend level. And then there's that moment are you going to invite me to sit? Are you going to sit? No, you're not. I got to cover this. Okay, I'm disappointed. I get it, but I'm disappointed. I'm going to go. And there's a lot of layers, so many layers in those two beats. They're both tremendous amount of layers. And again, I think it's good writing, and obviously Mulgrew's just crushing it at this point. Let's do it.
Set a new course. There's
Caffeinated flirpolas.
in that nebula.
Caffeinated flirpolas. Caffeinated flirpolas. Caffeinated flirpolas. Caffeinated flirpolas. Yeah! Caffeinated flirpolas. Take what you want.
Oh my God.
And some caffeinated flirpolas. Do you get caffeinated?
Oh, that's upsetting. Oh boy, the legend continues. The legend grows. I'm so happy about all of that. So you had a hot take, sir.
Yes. I love Ben Sisko. I love Ben Sisko. Legend, the myth, the man. I respect Jean-Luc Picard. I salute James T. Kirk and Admiral Ross and Chris Pike and all of the chain of command. We're in episode 5. None of them did I love as much as I loved Janeway that early. Sisko had a whole development process. I had a whole emotional thing with him. At first I was like, this ain't gonna work for me. This is too much. Like I had a whole thing. I got where we were going, don't get me wrong. The man's a god. Literally. I think Janeway is on the fast track to being Mike's #favorite Trek
Mikey,
captain.
do me a favor.
Yeah.
Do me a favor. Turn around, look behind you.
Oh, I know.
Who's sitting on your shelf?
She's right there.
Yeah.
She's right there.
The X06 Janeway.
She's awesome. It is a combination of... I think, Keith, I would imagine, instantly they knew. They're like, oh, she can do it. She can be everything and anything. So right with all the nuance, right with all the stuff, she's going back there. She's making notes on her script. There's so many takes. There's so much quirk to her. She already 5 episodes in, and I don't even know where we're going yet, feels like a fully 3-dimensional, fully realized, fully researched character with hopes, dreams, emotions, peaks and valleys. And I just... That is a putty that is going to, for me, slather over a lot of cracks in the drywall.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I know we get raked over the coals often that we kind of flip with our rankings and we should be more critical about this, that, or the other thing. But good performances, good acting, and relationships you care about get you through a lot of crap. And,
yeah.
You know, it's like that baseball episode on Deep Space Nine. Yeah, maybe it's not in the Pantheon, but it was in my top 10 because it's that ensemble working together. And even here, we're getting hints of what the ensemble can be together. That bridge scene with the Doctor on the screen in the back, you're starting to get the vibe of what it can be when we're all together. And yes, it's an alien life form and it's alive and we've heard it, we've got to help it, is not a brand new...
It's a very next-gen sort of a concept.
It's not a science fiction concept that is going to blow your mind. And we don't even... But we pose the problem. We find the mystery early enough. We pose a solution. There are some great character beats. I think Harry Kim has some great moments here. I think Parris finally has some couple of moments. I think the Chakotay Janeway relationship is... The mysticism of it aside... is kind of beautiful. There's a beautiful second episode in a row where the Doctor makes a relationship with one of the cast members, whereas Kes helped him last week sort of figure out some things. He helped Brile, is it? No,
Brile.
Oh my God.
Torres.
Yes, but B'Elanna Torres.
Vedic Brile comes in. I'm boring.
Torres, he doesn't just give her the answers, he lets her find it and celebrates her with it, which I think is such a small thing they did, but it isn't so small. I actually think as a character study, this episode's very good. I think it's my favorite Janeway episode. I mean, or 2 of my top 2. Anyway, I really, really liked it. The Neelix of it all doesn't make a lot of sense yet, but okay. Is it gonna probably stand the test of time? It's a classic? No, but I think it's a solid episode, and I can't help but I think I've been giving them all the same kind of rankings. But where am I at? What am I?
80, 81, 55, and 83.
Last week was 83, so I'm gonna say 82.
82, yeah. Yeah, I mean, first off, it delights me how much you're enjoying this, for sure. Yeah, I mean, like, for me, it's very uneven.
Yes.
Right. The parts that are successful are very successful. The parts that are not are irksome. I think the way that they're characterizing Neelix at this point is annoying. Kes is kind of boring. and I wish that she weren't.
Yeah. I feel like we're gonna fix that though.
Oh yeah, well we got a long way to go, buddy.
Yep.
Long way to go. You know, the main mystery itself, I think because they weren't able to visualize it quite as well as I think they would have today, it feels a little yada 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 on the creature. I liked the moral implication that we injured a thing, we have to go back and fix it, which is great. The suture idea, so like it was fine, right? The concept was fine. They did all the beats, but it felt kind of like we have a fine concept. We're gonna just yada 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 the beats as we go through here. So, you know, and I because I have a little bit more of a context of like the qualities that we're gonna get at, it's just like, yeah, okay, sure, fine. So for me, it gets 70 caffeinated flirpolas. In the world, would you believe this is a bottom 15 episodes of Voyager? This is 153 out of 168. It's
Damn.
a 6.4.
Really?
So people hate this episode.
Oh, dude, we're golden. I'm gonna
Right?
like this show.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're gonna like this. You're absolutely gonna like.
There was
this.
so much resistance to us doing this.
I know. From you or from the universe?
Little column A, little column B.
Universe is like, don't do it, please, God. Yeah.
No, I'm back to. I'm looking forward to it every week. I'm in.
Dude, you're gonna love this show. You're gonna be sucked in, just like everything else. So, all right. So there we are. Next week, Eye of the Needle. I'm not going to say any more about it because I do not want to sully Mike's experience. Either way. So I hope everybody enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching. You know, like I said, I'm enjoying this process so much. I have never given Voyager as much thought as I'm giving it right now. And that is a delight. I'm really enjoying this process. I think we should probably have Sean on for another episode.
Yeah.
Maybe next week. So, either on the Patreon or down below, give us some questions to ask Sean about the first third of season 1. I should point out, season 1 is only 15 episodes, Mike.
Okay, good to know.
So it's short. So yeah, leave us some questions if you haven't already. Like and hype. Give us some hype. If you're listening to the podcast version, you can really, really help us by leaving a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you're listening to it. That would really, really help the audio version of this happen. If you didn't know there was an audio version, it'd be like, oh my God, I'd love this so much more if I didn't have to look at your faces. Just hop on the podcast. It's right there. You can enjoy.
You do
it.
link that into the YouTube as well, right?
I think so.
Because someone was looking for it and they couldn't find the link. So.
Oh well, maybe I didn't. Who's to say?
Keith, I gotta drop an Easter egg.
Okay.
For a longtime viewer and their mysterious family to say congratulations to some folks who had some great performances. I would just say that being 70 years away from home might make you feel alone in the universe.
I'm so alone in the universe.
Congratulations to all. Until next time, this has been...
This is my job.
Keith and Mike.
It's upside down world. It's backwards.
Watch Star Trek Voyager.
I'm going backwards.
Thank you so much for watching K&M Entertainment. If you enjoyed our particular brand of nonsense, like and subscribe. Or you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/K&M. Spell out that and.
Butthole. They're more subtle with their poo reference than we are.
Indeed, we are not a subtle show.
Mm-mm.